Okay, I think I'm live. I don't know if anybody's actually going to watch. I doubt it. But let's go ahead and say that I think that I have the streaming up and ready to go. All right, so this is the cards again. I was playing around with the colors just to see what I liked, and I still don't. So these are the cards, and we're going to want to make some sort of card out of those guys. Let's see, can I scrunch this down to a single? Is that the cards, or is that the other one? That is the video capture device. Window capture. So we want to make this card size. So let's take this old window. Don't know what this is doing to everything, and change the view, zoom. Is 400 too big? 400 is too big. Zoom 100%. Can I get rid of that thing? I want to make this small enough that it only focuses on one card. And that one card is going to be the one we're drawing today. Right, not these two that we already drew. I want to do the pot farmers. All right. So let's get to that one. Window capture state. Leave that on. No, we don't want to look at my face. I'm glad I put the shirt on. So there we go. There's that. Window is over here. Can bring that over here. If we increase the size, we can see what the pot farmer is supposed to do. We don't really know what the pot farmer is going to do. Who knows where it's going to end up when I do all of the stuff that I do to the poor pot farmers, figuring out, giving them a raison d'etre and stuff like that. All right, so let's 1, 2, 3 go to card 3. All right, so let's see. For card 3, what are we going to do? Oh, look, I've already lost my entire audience. That's awesome. Okay, so let's see. There's the perforation. We want 4.5 by 4 or 5, going 1 to 5.5, so that's 4.5. And there's the perforation at the edge of there, so 1 to 5.5. All right, so let's draw some nice lines like that. We want 6 inches. So 4.5 by 6. So let's do 2 to 8. This is supposed to be 10 inches, right? It's more like 9 3/4. 2 to 8 and 2 to 8. If you actually did watch the last one, which according to YouTube you did not, I screwed up and I went to 4.5 instead. So there is our box, and we'll give ourselves an interior box of 1/2 inch to tell us where we are. Oops. And of course the other computer is on. Oops. It's supposed to be 1/2 inch. The other computer I have to leave on so that I have it to look at for reference material. I did at the coffee shop today. Plan this out a little bit more. This one's not going to be as much fun. At least it'll have a reference, right? At least it'll have a reference for something. Of course, this is pot farmers. What is the thing we're going to look at? We're going to look at American Gothic, right? We're going to play off of American Gothic for our drawing. So this is the size of the thing and we're going to want to put pot farmers in that. I'm hoping I do have extra lead, so that's fine. Okay, like I said, I did do a quick sketch like that for my pot farmers. So I have a basic idea of how I want it to go. Um, it's still a bad lead. So what we want to do is we want to have a drawing that looks like American Gothic, which you probably have seen before. It's the old man and his daughter. Apparently, I thought it was his wife, but just looking it up just now, it looks like it was an old man and his daughter with a pitchfork. I'm going to probably leave the pitchfork in there because I don't know what these guys do. I've looked at all these drawings or all these photographs of pot farmers, and all they're doing is, smiling fun in a funny way at their plants. So they're very happy with their plants. The pot farmers are. That's good. Let's see. That doesn't mean it's what we want. So we've got two guys. We have the sort of fat hippie here being the dude, and the cute hippie here being the chick. So we'll draw her lips so that we know she's a girl. We can't give her like big anime eyes or anything because she's pretty stoned, right? So let's see, what are we going to do? So I was thinking that the pot farmer dude should look a lot like my friend Neil when he's stoned, but I'm going to give him my friend Jay's hairstyle, right? Because Neil doesn't. You would not be surprised that Neil smokes marijuana, but I do not think. Probably shouldn't tell you that. Except you don't know him, and you don't know me, so it's okay. But he just doesn't look like he must smoke marijuana, whereas since Jay is has all those dreads and things like that. One, dreads are a lot of fun to draw, right? So I'd say that. And two, if you have dreads, I don't know, can you have dreads on your beard? Should I try to figure that out right now? Okay, that might make his beard too big, even for Jay. I don't think you can have dreads on your beard, but let's pretend you can, because that would be cool. That would be even cooler than just a giant bearded man with dreadlocks, which is what Jay is, which is one of the things that makes him cool. So the other thing is he's in a very interesting guy. Jay is. Sort of in a Christian, was in a Christian reggae band, and former punky guy decided to go with the Christian reggae instead. Giant man, very Christian, but he's always looking for some more, how should I say, more authentic Christianity. Christianity is never authentic enough for him. So, say he starts off as a Lutheran. I'm not sure that it was Lutheran, but say he just started off as a Lutheran, and he decided that that was, too much like what his parents believed or something. And then he decided, okay, well, then I'll go to something a little closer to the source, and that would be the Catholics. And then he decided, well, that's not close enough either. So he went to Orthodox. Greek Orthodox wasn't close enough for him. So he moved on to, I'm trying to think, we went Coptic first. So he went, that's sort of Egyptian Orthodox, you might say. Then he decided that wasn't cool enough for him, so let's give him a... I've got a picture up here of a dude, but I want him to have a cap, not a big... let's give him a big... It's got to be bigger than his hair. You know what I mean if you've seen people with dreadlocks. A big cap, bigger than his hair, kind of a little bit like Santa Claus, but doesn't fit as well. Like that, maybe. It's all knitted, of course, so we'll have to add some knitting. I'll do that with the pen later on. Try to get the right. Try to get the right texture with the pen. Doesn't really need it with the pencil right now. So yeah, we'll do the. Let's make it go all over the place. Okay. Jay's reds were a little bit longer, but let's just make this a little more okay, and then come out here. So that's pretty good. It's pretty good. We probably want... I'm looking at some of these drawings, and I think maybe more cartoonish faces would be good. I don't know. If you think so, tell me. I don't even know if it says there's somebody listening, but I have no idea. So I think the cartoonish faces would be better. I'm sort of leaning that way, but haven't gotten there yet. Like I said, when he's big like Santa. Like I said, when I look at all of these drawings, or not drawings, they're not drawings, they're photographs of people. Got a really great one here that I could use for some of these, some of the folds on the t-shirt, right? So when I look at these photographs, I haven't found a single photograph where anybody's holding any kind of gardening tool whatsoever, right? While they're doing the pot thing. They're just sort of sitting there in the middle of a bunch of marijuana plants with a stupid smile on their face. So, not doing that. Now, Jay, so this should be where the pitchfork goes. Which doesn't feel right, but still. I mean, we are going with American Gothic as a theme, right? So, if it doesn't have the pitchfork, it's not going to feel right. And that hand is too big. And probably too high. Let's put it down a little bit. Here. So, the part that you can cut off, but that's okay. Looks like that's the part that got cut off from American Gothic. Alright, so we want this American Gothic feel to the drawing. It's still too big. It's still too big. Alright. And then it's got the thumb coming up here in the American Gothic. So let's go with that. So he's holding on to the pitchfork here. Then it comes up here. A little bit of a... Now, this pitchfork in American Gothic is not like the pitchforks that I'm used to. Right, the pitchfork should be about this big, but we'll just sort of use it straight up. that. You know, you really don't have bales of marijuana. Although, well, have you ever? I don't know. Let me see. I probably should not do this. Actually, I probably should have been doing this. So let me see if I can find some Reverend Horton Heat stuff going on. Reverend Horton Heat has a couple of songs. One is, of course, Marijuana, which is sort of like Tequila, right? It's basically a surf song. And I was just talking about bales of marijuana. There are not bales of marijuana as far as I know, but he has another song called Bales of Cocaine. So I'll just play that, and hopefully it's not too loud in the background. And then hopefully it'll go to... Okay, well, you may not be able to hear me while he's singing, so...
For Dallas, where I would try my luck. I didn't have a notion if I could sell them there. 30 minutes later, I was a millionaire. Bales of cocaine falling from the flying plane. I don't know who done dropped them, but I think I'm just the same. Bales of cocaine falling like pouring rain. My life changed completely by the low-flying planes. Oh, let's watch it, folks. I'm still a farmer too, but I sold my farm in Texas, bought a farm down in Peru, and when I get so homesick, I think I'm going insane. I travel back to Texas in a low-flying plane. Bales of cocaine falling from the flying plane. I don't know who done dropped them, but I think I'm just the same. Bales of cocaine falling like pouring rain. My life changed completely by the low-flying plane.
One of my favorite songs, Bales of Cocaine by the Reverend Horton Heat. The full custom gospel sounds of the Reverend Horton Heat. A really great album. Let's see. So I've been told that one thing so Jay I never saw Jay wearing a marijuana leaf shirt. However, my pencil and my pen, these are going to be cards, right? So these are going to be cards. These cards are going to be first released just for you to be able to print out. So they're all going to be black and white, and then I'm using this paper to color them later. So we'll use the marijuana shirt now. Jay never wore a marijuana shirt. I think let's see, Neil Wood. I don't quite remember. Although the only thing I remember is that I do not know how to draw a marijuana leaf. So I'm looking at a reference right now. So we'll put a marijuana leaf on his shirt just because that shows up in black and white, whereas tie-dye does not, like Jay would use. So hopefully that's good enough. Let's see. Did I ever tell you about the man in the weed van? Did I tell you about the man in the weed van? Or the men in the weed van, I guess is the way to say it. Let's put an arm here because she's got a be interacting with him. So let's see. So we do want, about how far off was this? Okay, a little off. Really what we want is her to be about the same place here. So right here is what we want. Again, that's the drawing from today. So let's see, the man in the weed van. So when I lived in New Orleans, yeah, all the good stories start when I lived in New Orleans, right? When I lived in New Orleans, I had a neighbor. So I had neighbors. This is what happened. I lived in a place called St. Thomas, or a place that used to be called St. Thomas. Now it has another name, River something, and I get that name wrong. So, but it's basically a mixed income community that exists where a notorious set of projects were, the St. Thomas projects, and I lived right there on St. Thomas. After the projects were gone, right? Let's give her a little bit of a smile. So after the projects were gone, I was there in the mixed income spot. And while I was there, one day I come home from work, and there is a giant, well, maybe not a giant, but there's a van there parked in front of my apartment with, a giant marijuana leaf on it. Okay. So I'm sitting there, there's a giant marijuana leaf. What's going on, right? Well, you've probably seen these guys. If they still exist, they probably don't. They had sort of a odd idea. Okay, so we need, like in the drawing, we need these. We need her to look a little bit out of it, but we also need her eyebrows to be up just a little. We can do that with him too. Okay, so the men in the weed van, or we had the weed van, and they sold out of that weed van. They'd go to special events, or even just down to the French Quarter sometimes, and sell weed flavored lollipops, which is, again, one of the stupidest things you could ever imagine, right? Because, no THC, just the flavor of marijuana. So, and they were sold for like $5 a pop. I mean, it was just insane. It's a novelty thing, right? So that's why it probably doesn't exist anymore. Plus, people can now probably buy real weed flavored lollipops that have, the actual THC in it. Maybe you can get rid of the weed flavor and just add the THC to a cherry flavored lollipop, and then you'll be good, right? So that is one thing that could work. So I feel like her head's too big. So now we need to add some hair. Okay, I could either use the hair that I got there, or I can, oh man, this is great. I don't think I can do that. That is a great head of hair, though. Some good references here on the internets. With white girls with dreadlocks. So hot. So hot. Let's see if I can find a good one that'll fit. Right, we want to stay away from the gothic-y girls with dreadlocks. We want somebody who looks sort of natural. So, oh, that's super cool. Okay, she's super cool. I don't know if I can pull this off, but I will try anyway. So let's try to reduce the size of the head a little bit. Okay, so that. And the top of the head's up here. Then we have a girl. Girls have necks. And they have shoulders. Usually they have one on each side. And she'll be holding the blunt. Okay, so and of course somebody's lawn service shows up halfway through these things. So let's see. What was I talking? I was talking about the men in the weed van. So they're selling those things, but it's not like it's a it's not like it's a private person that's renting the room above me. It's being rented by the company that makes the weed popsicle or weed pops or whatever they call them. The marijuana. Marijuana lollipops. So Pops is actually a good one, a good name. So the marijuana lollipop people are sitting there building, living above me, and the company is renting it out. So most of the time there's only one gang in there, or I shouldn't call them gangs. There's only one set of people living in there. Maybe 2 or 3 people in a 2-bedroom apartment, I think. But, some other day I come by, and rather than having just that one full-size van, now there's 2 full-size vans, a minivan, and a camper, a big old camper, an RV, a recreational vehicle, sitting outside my house, all with giant marijuana plants on them. Right, so pictures of weed, pictures of women in bikinis, because that's, I guess, what happens with weed. That's not my experience. But that's the experience they're trying to sell you with the marijuana lollipops, is that if you buy a marijuana lollipop, then there'll be plenty of girls that want to come hang out with you. All right, and okay, some coming over this way, some coming over that way, but probably just this girl's wearing a black halter top or something, so we'll just leave it that way. I can't really do all the things because it looks like she's got some cool things with jade beads and stuff in her hair. So, I mean, the picture girl looks awesome. Okay, so that's about it Well, no, that's not about it. We also need to do some things with the marijuana farms. The marijuana farms are big greenhouses, so you have something that looks like a greenhouse, like that. I probably shouldn't do this freehand. If I want it to go like this, let's go from here. I shouldn't do this freehand, so I will anyway. Right. Let's see. Coming back down like that. Let's do another arch. All right. Looks better. All right. And how does this work? This guy has another horizontal bar like that going through here and some sort of picture. And of course the thing we're missing here is lots of weed. We need little plants coming through here. I'm not sure if I want to do that. That will look good if they're all green, right? In black and white, I'm not sure that'll look so good. We don't need. Just need to make sure it looks like the greenhouse is full. Okay, so there we go. One drawing. How long have I been at this? So, okay. Let's see. Let's go ahead and try to make this look sort of right. All right, so pitchfork. Crap. That's why I hate ink. Oh well. Okay, and we'll darken that up there. That's a good thing to have darkened up. All right. Do a little something there. Okay, good. And there we go. Pretty flat and unemotional. Like my dad when he was self-medicating for cancer pain, right? So there we go. Let's see here. All right. Let's see if we can make these dreads look like threads in the ink. Probably not. So those are the foreground ones. Now he's got the beard. Beard comes down here. Okay, and the beard just keeps getting longer and longer, because long beards are awesome. Here we go. All right. So yeah, I had a whole bunch of those guys hanging out above my house. And when they got together, they had big parties, because they got together when they had all those people there. It was for Jazz Fest or Mardi Gras or something like that, where they had lots of places to go and sell their stuff. I think I looked them up on the internet, and the place they were actually from was Mississippi, right? The place they actually made the stuff at, but they seemed to have stuff going on all over the place. So there was an article about them in the New York Times and just crap like that, because they were hanging out at all the little festivals in New York, which is, I think I was just reading that David Dinkins got all those little festivals going, and that one of the reasons why they were there. To be honest, one of the least fun things about New York. I loved living in New York, but those things were bad. But when they were in New Orleans, I mean, the festivals are exactly the things that you're thinking of, right? Like Jazz Fest and Mardi Gras and Po Boy Fest, or I don't remember what it was, Po Boy something. Taste of New Orleans. There was also another sort of music festival. There are a couple of music festivals all at the same time. Obviously, there was Voodoo Fest, but that's not at the same time. That's sort of in a weird time, at least for New Orleans, because that's October. Okay, so there's the J looking dude. Let's give him a little bit more, I said, a little more cartoony a nose. But as long as he looks sort of droopy, a little bit like Droopy Dog, right? That's what we really want, is a little bit of droopiness. There, then we add in some of these features. And let's give him a little more room on this side. Okay. Let's see. So when all those guys showed up, and we're living there, so we had, instead of just the 3 guys in the one van, 2 or 3 guys in the one van, probably 3, we had something on the order of I think it was 2 full-size vans, a couple of minivans, and the big old thing. I'm not sure how they fit everybody into that thing, but they definitely did. And that was a hard time for me to get any sleep, because they were doing things all the time. So my bedroom was right under their living room and right next to the stairway up there. So you can sort of guess that people who are selling weed flavored popsicles are probably not people that keep, regular business hours. So, there were many times where in the middle of the night I'd wake up to dice. A couple of times where it sounded like they were doing some chanting and doing some weird stuff. I am not completely sure, but they could be doing a little bit of hoodoo. Again, these guys were from Mississippi, not New Orleans, so they were probably doing hoodoo, not voodoo. Hoodoo is, as you know, Protestant voodoo. So, and if you don't know that, then you do now. This one needs to be bigger. Okay, again, we go with this marijuana leaf silhouette because even though we'd prefer tie-dye for this guy. But we just don't have colors for tie-dye. Right? We can do that later on. Like I said, the first set of these things are for the card game. It's the second set where for the downloadable one where you have to print them out yourself. For that one, not thinking about colors, right? We want to just make it so that everybody can, go down to, let's give her some huge earrings, because that'd be awesome. Should pull out some kind of I've forgotten. And give her some beads. Oh yeah. It's looking good. I feel less crappy about this than the other two. Now, that might change. Looking at the actual drawing, has been pretty bad with this. Alright. Alright, let's give her something to smoke. There we go. I don't know, do they still have bracelets. I've been noticing a distinct lack of bracelets from women, but spending way too much time in the suburbs. I'm not seeing cool women anymore, so I have no idea what people I'd actually like wear these days. Okay. Oh, that's looking good. Liking that. All right, so let's get some of this in here. Oh, I did get the texture that I was talking about earlier. Good. Trying to get a little bit of texture in the hair. I had a really great friend in New Orleans. She had hair like this. Okay. I still see pictures on Instagram of women with hair like this, but they're all living in Costa Rica, which makes a lot of sense. When my dad was living in Costa Rica, there were plenty of women with hair like that. Okay, let's see. Then we want to try to do these things, which is scary. Let's put this one down a little bit from where it was. Increase the size of that thing. Okay, let's see if we can get some. I'm going to use some horizontal lines for negative space here. Hopefully that will work out. I'm not sure that it will, but the marijuana plants have sort of that horizontal direction to them most of the time in these photographs. So that might give the right idea. Let's hope. I'm not really liking it. Oh well. And I said I wanted her to have a black halter top. So that will add a little more contrast. Don't have a lot of contrast here. That's always a problem. Okay, my second screen just went off, which is okay, because as long as it's gone off, it's all right. Oh. All right, so oops, bad me. Let's try to move that a little so it doesn't look like I screwed up as much as I did. All right, and I can fix that. Somebody out there invented a white ink. They are an awesome person. Okay. So that looks good enough for that. So let's see, can we... Can get a good draw on that one. So now we've only got a 50% chance of screwing up. Both of those are good enough. Okay, so let's draw something potty up here. Right. Get some more of that horizontal line stuff as negative space, and just add occasional leaves. To give it something that looks like texture. Okay. I might have to grab a gray pen for this one to yeah, that looks bad. Well, yeah, I might need the gray pen somewhere. And make it look a little more 3D. Let's see, 1, 2. Just to make it look a little better. And what do we call this? Called this Pot Farmers. Okay, can we do anything to improve this? No. I think this is about as good as it's going to get. Maybe I can double up on these. Make it look like the white ones are the lines. Yeah, that actually looks a little bit better. Not a whole lot better, but you know, got these people, at least all of these people that I remember have, you know, dirty blonde dreadlock. All dreadlocks are dirty, that's what makes them dreadlocks, but all these guys have dirty blonde dreadlocks, so contrast is dark, something darker, right? We want a little bit of contrast in that. See, that looks better, so we'll keep up with that one. Okay, so yeah, there are a couple of people I missed, Jay and Hannah. Great people. So And although I am not completely sure of their smoking habits, for some things you would be entirely surprised if they didn't do them, right? And these guys did not know each other. I knew Jay when I lived in downtown Houston, Hannah from New Orleans. Although based this guy a little bit on Neil, a little bit on Jay. So Neil is from New Orleans. Okay, yeah, like I said, that looks a lot better. Let's see, what kind of black things do I have here? No, that's blue. Okay, so, oh, there's a black one. Might want a little more black on the edges here. Okay, how does that look to you? Looks pretty good to me, as far as it's going to look. We need to draw out the edges. Ooh, I'm about to do some yard work, and therefore I hear thunder. This is true. So my question is, looking at this is looking good over here. The question is if I should blacken out that other area. I'm not sure. For that, you will have to wait and see when I guess I'm not going to upload this. It's already being streamed, but I'll put a final thing on later. I'll put a thumbnail up of this thing from after I'm done with it. So won't do any gray. I might add some black to the whole thing. I think the black would really offset these two characters. So I think that would be good. I am going to put, you're saying, well, yeah, that makes her look old, but also makes her look stoned. So that's what I care about. Anyways, that's it for today. Next week I'll do card 4. Probably whatever is left on this thing. What's the next one on this? Crack Gunheads. I may still change that one, but I think a little bit of mixing the Crips and the NRA would be fun, so I'll probably do that for the next one. Thank you all for listening or watching, both of me, or I guess none of you or me, I hope, because sometimes I go down to 0. Once I went up to 2. Don't know how, but that's it for today. Next time, probably we'll do card 4 Crack Gunheads, which will be mixing up, like I said, gangs and the National Rifle Association.